All I can say is, this movie does have a point. It does. Divorce Bait was directed by Patrick C. Perez. It stars Vanessa Vasquez and Justin Birdie. And here, a woman finds out that a friend of hers is getting divorced. But when she finds out the man was already out seeing someone else, her and her husband devise a plan which sort of goes south. A plan that includes them pretending to get divorced just to find out which woman would go after her husband if this event were to take place. This movie is just downright hilarious because of the fact it has such a basic premise, which is just how many people would try to pork my husband if we got divorced. But because of the energy in this film and Vanessa Vasquez's extremely energetic and over-the-top performance and her extremely fumbly character, this movie is way better than it should be. Now, this movie isn't perfect to say. It is, just a comedy that's kind of low budget being released before Christmas, but nevertheless is a pretty fun romp along the way. It has a pretty good idea that I feel explores very well and with a lot of humor and good intelligence within it, which could, in a weird way, be relatable for people. So let's just talk straight up about the movie. The script in here is pretty genius. It finds very unique and vulgar ways to set up situations after this begins to take place. It pulls absolutely no punches, and I was on board for that. It is just extremely insane, to put it mildly. This movie has some of the most fun sequences I've ever seen and was unhinged and completely unrestrained, which is pretty much what I want from a comedy, is to go so over the top that I just laugh the entire time, because I did laugh throughout the majority of this movie because it was just such a blast to have. As I said earlier, Vanessa Vasquez's performance is phenomenal. She is the driving force of this movie. Her delivery and timing for comedy is so good, and in here it absolutely is perfection. She knows just the right beats to hit, and she's such a fantastic physical comedian that she sells it. She is the absolutely shining star of this movie. Doesn't take away, though, from Justin Birdie, who also offers an extremely sad performance because his husband just kind of gets thrown in the middle of all this train wreck, and people start believing things, and it's weird. The movie, though, is conscious enough to understand this is a topic that is rather true. If you have someone you're in a relationship with and you two said you were going to break up, who would jump on board? And that's kind of a weird, screwed up premise that's realistic and funny to think about. It's a what-if kind of comedy, and I love these kinds of things. Where the weak points come in is when the movie decides to try to take a step back and be serious. That's when things can slow down, the pace can suffer, and I'm aware comedies want to take that time in there to have those moments, but it doesn't always necessarily work in the film. This one in particular suffers from that a little bit. I think the film also is a little cheap. It's a little low budget. I think that even with a lower budget, they could have made this a little bit better, but I don't have many problems with this movie because it's not trying to be fantastic. It is just trying to be fun. And honestly succeeded at that. I laughed the entire time during the movie, and I had fun with it, and I smiled. This is something that I think someone, if they just want to completely lose their mind before Christmas, go watch it. I am happy to see Hollywood is making movies just simplistic like this, where there's not a lot to it. It's just that, a bundle of fun. And for that, I'm going to recommend this movie because it was a ball of laughs, and it has great performances with fantastic chemistry and absolutely brilliant screenplay. I'm going to give Divorce Bait a 7 out of 10. Thank you guys always so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you all next time.